It officially tried to snow yesterday. It didn't quite make it to the temperature that it needed to, but it was like slush snow. We still have some on the ridges over there. So I thought it'd be a good time to go show you the tomatoes in my greenhouse. Isn't this just glorious? I wanted to talk about our compost heating system that we have. So this is our compost pile. We built it early in September and it was going really well. I was getting temperatures of warm air into the 90s at night in the greenhouse. We revamped it just a few days ago, so hopefully we'll be able to get some of those temperatures back up. So we have, yeah, I can see it steaming. I don't know if it's gonna show it on the camera. But we have the air pipe and the water pipe coiled in the middle of that, and then we ran it under the ground and up into the greenhouse. So I'll start by explaining what the bucket is. We have water that is pulled up with a fountain pump that is routed underneath all of the planting spaces in this greenhouse, that is coiled as well in the compost pile. So it's being heated by the compost pile and then being pumped through the floor of the greenhouse and then just being circulated with that system. Okay, so as far as the air goes, we have air that is being pulled from this pipe here from the greenhouse and then being circulated through the compost pile, and then a fan that is then pumping it back into, vacuuming it out of the compost pile and putting it back into the greenhouse. I have this thermometer hooked up to a system in the house so I can see the temperature that is in the greenhouse, and I also monitor the temperature of the airflow from the system with this. I'll show you. I track the temperature of the air using this. It creates a little laser beam and then shows you the temperature. So it is currently 48 on the ground in the greenhouse right now, and I will go show you what it is outside. Okay, so outside the ground temperature is 37 degrees. Okay, so when I want to test the temperature of the air coming into the greenhouse, I just push the button and it points a laser down in there, and then it tells me right now that it has 46 degrees coming from this, which it's not on right now, so it's just the temperature of the greenhouse right now. It was a somewhat cloudy, somewhat sunny day. I think the top temperature it made it in here today was about 76 degrees during like the peak of the day. And then when this system turns on, I'll show you the temperature that's coming out of it when it's on. We just revamped the compost pile over the weekend, and today's a Tuesday. So today should be the first day it's starting to gain heat back up again. It just had kind of petered out over time. This is our photocell outlet that we created to run both the pump and the fan. It works by turning itself on as soon as there isn't light to be registered, and then that allows the compost pile to rest during the day and rejuvenate its heat, and then just pump heat into the greenhouse during the night when the temperatures drop the most. I honestly think it might show up on the camera. I don't know if you can see, but there is steam coming off of that compost pile right now. I thought I'd kind of explain what we have in our compost pile. We have chicken manure. We also have cow manure and some used hay that the cows had pulled out from the feeder and stomped around on. We've also put some really green wet hay in there and a lot of wood chips. I am friends with an arborist that chips trees, and he's starting up his own business. We have an agreement that he brings his wood chips to me instead of bringing them to the local dump, so it's a win-win for both of us. It's officially nighttime and our photo cell has turned on and our greenhouse pump and fan are running, and I thought I'd show everybody. So I got my little heat gun here. I put my hand in it. I can actively tell that it's warmer, so let's see what temperature we're actually pulling out of that compost pile. Trying to get it in there. Okay, so that looks like at about 90 degrees it's kind of topping off at. So the water is pumping at around 70, kind of maybe dropping. I don't know if we're gonna be able to see. I gotta top off my bucket. There is a small leak in the system and it will drain down the bucket. So I have to top off my bucket before I go in for the night. Yeah, but pretty cool. It feels warm to the touch. It's a pretty cool system. It's keeping everything alive and well. So if anybody has any suggestions or improvements that they know that I can make, please let me know. I woke up to something that I'm not very excited to see. My light isn't on. The thermometer inside said it's 30 degrees in here. So let's see what kind of stuff we're gonna run into. Yeah, we definitely frosted. Okay, perfect. So just turn back on. Okay, so we're gonna have some trials and errors. I'm not quite sure why that wasn't running this morning. I did move. There's a little light blocker thing that I didn't realize was on yesterday, and so I moved it. And so maybe that's why in the wee hours of the morning it wasn't running. This is gonna be a year of trial and error. Just take everybody along as I go. The thing's definitely pumping out the heat, so it's definitely a user error. Should have never moved that little slide, but we'll just see how much damage was incurred. It did get down to, it read 29 for a minute and 30. It was a it was our hardest freeze so far of the year, and I moved that slider thing and it didn't stay on in the wee hours because it was really sensitive to light. So as soon as the light came up, it shut off and started blinking on and off and wasn't consistent. Okay, I just double checked the temp coming out of this. I'll come show you what it registers in a second. It's pretty cool. I just wish I would have had that working last night. I really think it would have made it. So coming out of the air pipe, 108 degrees. Compost pile is most definitely activated again. We just need to now narrow down on our photo cell and make sure that's working appropriately. So we'll see how much damage we have. Okay, we're going out to the greenhouse to see how much damage there is. Okay. Some of it looks a little sad, but I'm gonna go with still alive. Okay, this is still on, so we're gonna do a quick check to see what temperature is actually coming out. So it is 118 degrees that is coming out of there. It said that it was in the 60s in here when I walked out here, so I think everything's about as warm as it's going to get. I do see some dark leaves on the pepper plants, but it still feels like it has some body to it. It doesn't just feel like mush. So it looks like definitely some tomato plants are damaged. Yeah, there's definitely, we're not happy, but I think we're just mad. I don't think we're at a loss. Yeah, the fruit is still intact, and that's nice and firm. It's not soft and damaged by any means. So hopefully we just had a little bit of a hiccup. I am still going to plant some cool weather crop to plant in here instead of trying to keep this alive, because they're just not meant to. I'm probably gonna let some of this damage set in. This is, I think, a cinnamon basil, and see what needs to be trimmed back. But definitely going to be taking some of it out to make room for other things. So I'll keep everybody posted. Looks like damage, but not lost, which is still incredible because it got down to 21 degrees last night outside. It did get down to 29 in here because I didn't have that set up to. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'll keep you guys posted.